So today we have a client that's looking for a home in Carlsbad, and they want to be 2.2 million to about 3.5, give or take. I know that's a big range, but the most important feature they want is a view. So what I think we should do today is just go drive around at 3 or 4 homes and preview them before the client comes in town, and then we can decide that the view is good or it's not good, because the inside of the home doesn't really matter because they said the view is that important. So let's spend a little time. Let's pick out 4. Let's take you guys on the ride. Let's take a look at what we would look at in that price range that had a really good view. The cool thing about this client is they don't really care if the view is an ocean view or if it's a city view. They just want an open view. So we're gonna go preview those first, so that way when we show the clients the home, the number one feature they're looking for, every single home fits that criteria, and we'll make that process just a little bit easier on us. All right, so let's see what we can find. So 2.1 to 3.5 million. Believe it or not, in our MLS, there's only one field that controls the view. Doesn't say like ocean view, unless that's something that I don't have to do. So we're just gonna select view to yes, 2.1 million to 3.5 million. It needs to be a single family detached home. They don't want townhome or anything like that. And I think I remember him saying they wanted at least 4 bedrooms. So we're gonna go down here to price, best living. Bed total needs to be a minimum of 4. It has a view. Now for context, how many homes do you think are on the market right now in Carlsbad?
I'd say about 230.
Yeah. I actually, I think you're pretty close. I think it's 245 or something like that. How many homes do you think are on the market in between 2.1 million and 3.5 million, more than 4 bedrooms, or a single family home, and that are categorized with a view?
Oh man, probably 50? Not even.
Not even. It's 28.
Oh.
Right, so that's good. That means there's more options for him than I think we thought. I was worried that we were going to do this and it was going to be like 6, and then that would be tough.
That would
Don't
not
want
be
it to be
good.
tough.
Yep.
All right, so we have 28. So I'm going to look through these 28 really quick. We are going to pick the 4 best today. And just to be clear, when you have a real estate agent that is doing this on your behalf and you're not like aimlessly scrolling through Zillow and all of that fun stuff, it's really important to understand that like there are different reasons why different homes sell for different prices. Sometimes it's the location, sometimes it's the type of the view, the direction of the home, how new it is, if it's been upgraded. So our only purpose in seeing 4 of these at a time is so that we can kind of rank these from 1 to maybe 10. So that way when he comes in town, we actually show him, we can start in that order so he knows exactly what's on the market and what's viable and what's not. Too oftentimes, and I think we've done this before, Jenny, is we show people homes and we show them way too many, and at the end of the thing, they're like, I like home number 3 that had the great kitchen, the pool, and the upstairs primary bedroom. And you're like, well, that's a blend of like 3 different homes. That wasn't really one home. So we try to do this in chunks of 4 homes at a time, even if it means we have to do more appointments than maybe we want, because it's a lot easier to find the right home when we do that. So let's pick the first 4, and then you want to drive by them today?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, first one today is in a neighborhood. Actually, we have friends in this neighborhood in San Pacifico. I'm looking at the photo. I will put a picture of the listing in the video. You guys can see it right here, the primary photo in the listing. The views from the photo look amazing, but sometimes when you get in the neighborhood, they don't look the way that the MLS shows them. So we're gonna go drive by this one first, but I can already tell you right now, 100% this is gonna be a fit, so we'll definitely show this one. You know what I love about this neighborhood is that it's really like 4 neighborhoods in one. You know, architecture's all a little bit different. There's some with views, there's some with cool backyards. There's some with shared, it's the, you know, townhomes, I guess you would call. They have shared walls. So there's really everybody. And I can already tell you right now, based on what we know about him, he is going to love this area. And we already knew this because we have friends that live here. So the thing I love about this, everything is like pretty much well maintained. The streets look good. Everything's in good condition. Everybody's got their lawns taken care of. But if you've never been to this part of Carlsbad, where we are in front of us, all these homes have unbelievable views of the lagoon, Ponto, and everything. And you can even see right as I turn right here, there are the views up here. And how cool is this? You got your own little parking trail. Walk down. Like, I never even knew this part of the street existed. It's a crazy view. Yeah, so this house faces directly south, but I can promise you from the back of that view is tremendous. I'll put the listing, like I said earlier, up on the MLS or on the screen right here so you can see the view. Like 100% you guys can see from the video here that all of these have unbelievable views. So this is San Pacifico and 92011. The view is over at Ponto. Definitely on the list. I'll put a link to this below. Okay, so the next one that we're gonna go to is, actually, I think we've been to this home. before. I think we've driven by it. It might have been on the market last year, and maybe it's back on. Maybe they elected not to sell. It could be a totally different home. No idea. There's a couple features I love about this home. The photos didn't show the view very well in the MLS. I didn't go through a whole lot of detail, but I know where this home is. I know it's got a view. It's got some cool, unique features in the front of the home, so I'm excited to see this one. This is right in Aviara, just on the corner of Poinsettia and Aviara, really close. So it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. Okay, so if you remember this might have been, I don't know how long ago it was.
In a quarter mile, the destination is on your right.
Do you remember this home right here? We looked at this?
Yes.
Okay, that home was on the market, I think, for 2 point something, and I think it sold. Great, like it was redone. I think that maybe the challenge was that it backed Aviara, but this one does not. I thought this one was on that street. This is not on the street. This one is up here on the right, and you can already tell that if we get up a little higher, okay, this is it up here.
The destination is on your right.
I bet
Right.
this is a front view home. Yeah, this is a great neighborhood. I love this neighborhood. I love how it's up and above everything else. You can totally tell if we turn around here, like there's ocean views everywhere. We'll keep going. However, I don't think the view in the back of that home is nearly as good as the other one. You got power lines right here. For some people, that's a big issue. Other people don't really care. But if I look at the listing, I was excited because in the photo, I thought this had a blue garage. Maybe it did and I just missed it. So for context, the one that we looked at earlier, this one's listed at $2.35 million. It is 5 beds, 4 baths, which is great. About 3,000 square feet, 48 square feet. And this one was listed at $2,350. Okay, the one that we just looked at a minute ago, it had the Ponto view. That one definitely has a much better view. That one is 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, much bigger home, 3,500 square feet. That one was listed or is listed at 2.999, so $3 million. So basically a home that has a pretty good view up here in Aviara. I would say it's probably a B plus view depending on where the home is. I'm not sure that this one's going to be a fit. 1,400 square feet smaller with a good view, and you're saving $650,000. $650,000 more over in San Pacifico. 4,335 square feet, 1 less bedroom, but an amazing view. And is that going to be worth $650,000? I don't know. We'll tell. But both of these neighborhoods are amazing. You can't go wrong with either one of these. Again, I'll put this one up on the screen. There'll be a link below. You can download all the MLS listings that we're looking at today. And I would be curious in the comments, let me know, like, what do you think? What's good? What's not? Which one would you choose? And are we looking at the right ones? Okay, so this one's been on the market a while. And it hasn't been on the market a while because I think it's necessarily overpriced or not a good fit. It's it's probably one of the best backyards in all of Carlsbad. It's got an amazing pool, and again, I'll put the listing on the screen right here. I don't know what the view is. I know in this part of Poinsettia, the views are great, so this may be like a front of house view because I do believe that this home, if I'm looking at the map correctly, the back faces, no, looks like the back faces the ocean. Look, if you could have this type of backyard, again, I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see, and a view. And for context, this one's 5,100 square feet, plus or minus 5 beds, 7 bathrooms. Some of those are half bathrooms. And this one's listed at 3.3. 300,000 more than the one that we saw that had the Pono view, but you're getting about 800 more square feet. One of the best backyards in all of Carlsbad, California. And depending on what we see, an amazing view. So this may be a really good fit. So let's head over to that one. Okay, so this is Seaside Estates. We know this area because this is where Peyton and Brooke went to elementary school over at Pacific Rim. I love this neighborhood because everything is very well done. The houses are much higher. It seems a little bit more intimate. This is the home right here. You can't really tell the view from here, but I can almost promise you that view is legit because I can see in between. Maybe you guys can see from the drive-by as well. We can see, I don't know that we've been this far back in this neighborhood. Have you been back here?
No, I've been on the other side, but
Yeah, and even up here, I mean, the homes even go higher. So I wonder if maybe all of these homes in this neighborhood have, yeah, I mean, just going forward this way, you can tell. And then looking to the right here, you can see all these homes they're all up. These all have great views. I mean, who knows, maybe at like 3.3 million for this size of a home, that kind of backyard and that view, I would actually argue, although I thought that first one in San Pacifico was a good value, I would almost argue that this is maybe even a better value for that view. If now some people don't want, crazy built out backyard. They want something simple because maybe they don't live here full time, or, it's a lock and leave type of deal. That's, it's a lot of maintenance to have a backyard like that. But for entertaining, I think that's one of the best backyards in all of Carlsbad. Okay, so that's Seaside. What do you think? That's on the list or no?
I think so.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. Let's add that to the list. Okay, we got one more. There were only 4 that we picked for this specific one. We may do more tomorrow, but I think based on what this client is looking for, I think these 4 are going to be good to start. All right, last one on the list today. We are still in Aviara. This one is listed for 2.3 million. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. This one's 3,247 square feet. Again, a huge drop in square footage, over 1,000, almost 2,000 actually. But we're also saving $1 million, so interesting to see how this one pops. I don't think I've ever been in this neighborhood before. This will be the first time. Okay, so in this part of Aviara, this is the very back part of Aviara before it turns into like Brettsey Ranch and some of the other neighborhoods as you get farther east from the coast. I know we're still in coastal. All of Carlsbad is coastal, but you'd be surprised that just over the hill that we just went over, that the weather can be a little bit different. It's a little bit less marine layer, a little bit less clouds. I don't know that it's necessarily warmer or colder back here. You would definitely feel a difference as if you were on the first one over in San Pacifico. So if you don't like the marine layer all the time or more than everybody else, this is probably a better option. It's newer back here, home, like especially where we're looking right now. These homes are all only a few years old. Treviso, I think is how you say it. But where we're going right now, these homes are a little bit older, or older than new build. I shouldn't say they're old, because there's not really anything unless you're in Old Carlsbad or the Barrio or the Village. You know, there's old homes back there, but pretty much the rest of this is so again, you can't really go wrong in any neighborhood with landscaping. Like, we haven't been through a neighborhood yet today
Turn right onto Mimosa
that
Drive.
is
Then take the
not
first left onto Warren
manicured.
Place.
Okay, 2 of the 4 neighborhoods today we have not been to, and this would be one of them. And I am actually, this is not what I was expecting at all. Streets are really wide, great. Every lawn is in great condition. You can tell some of these are already going through some significant rehabs. And how often do you see smooth stucco in Carlsbad? Like, never. But every one of these homes has smooth stucco. Okay, this is the home right here. Looks like there's actually people looking at it right now. Some unique features. Exterior staircase, which you don't see very often. One under contract right there. Cul-de-sac, so you're not going to get any traffic back here. This, I am not sure. I can tell you there's a view. I know without a doubt they do have a view. I just have no idea what it looks like. It's really hard to see when you're doing this, but that's cool. It's exterior staircase, nice little small motor court. That may be a fit. I don't know. We're gonna put that on the maybe list. We'll see how that goes. Actually, you know what? Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
Always.
There is a shortcut right here that I never even knew this existed. Let's see what's down here. You know what I bet this is? I bet this is where that back road is from La Costa Coffee.
Oh.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Who would have thought that this street leads up here and we come to La Costa Coffee like every single freaking day? I've never even thought to drive up this road to see what's up here. Well, now we know. Well, if you want to know where the best coffee is in Carlsbad, or at least the top 2, maybe a top 3, but definitely probably top 2. That's La Costa Coffee here at La Costa or Aviara, depending on how you look at it. Can't go wrong there, especially if you love banana bread, which I get in trouble for eating every day. You know, I'm editing the video from today's search, and there was a couple things that I wanted to touch on while we were out in the field that I didn't get a chance to, and I know Jenny feels the same way, is that, first off, I've been selling real estate since February of 2007, so we're going on 17, 18 years, give or take. And we've had some crazy great years. We've had some not so good years, right? Just like any business. But one of the things that I've learned a lot in selling the amount of real estate that we've sold, I think total, you know, between my teams and I and everything, somewhere around 1,200 homes in 17 years, give or take, is that when you show up blind to a showing, meaning you know just as much or just as little about that home as your client does, you're making it astronomically harder on your client to make a decision on the home. So one of the things that we try to do for every client that comes through is when they're pretty clear on their needs, we'll pick 4 or 5. And I say the same thing with everybody. We're going to pick the 5 that I think are the absolute best fit. We're going to see those first. And if all of those are terrible or you don't like any of them, great. We'll pick 5 more and we'll just keep going until we find your home. There's 2 things that I committed to a long time ago. Number 1, I will never show anybody more than 5 homes in a day because it's overwhelming, it's stressful, and they start to bleed certain features together from other homes. That's one thing that we've always done. The second thing that we commit to always doing is that I will never walk into a home knowing just as much or just as little as you do about that home. Now, we can't preview every single home that we go see, but in today's example, the driving factor for this client was 4 bedrooms, right around that $3 million range, and the view was by far their most important feature. And when we were on the phone together, he said, the reason why I'm focused on the view, they're in Northern California, they're moving down here. He said, I've never been in a home in California that has an amazing view that was not a great house. So if I lead with the view, it's kind of like I get the home for free or I get the great house as a benefit, which, you know, that was insightful for me. But the worst thing that can happen as a real estate agent is somebody super excited. They want to go see homes. They walk in, they walk right in the front door and they're just like, this is totally not what I need. All right. So we try to do everything that we can. We're not at 100%, but we try to do everything we can to make sure that never happens, because there's nothing more exhausting than seeing a bunch of homes and finding out that 2 of the 5 that you saw today were not a fit at all. So if we can help ease that process, that's why we do what we do. I want to record as many of these as we can, because I think if you guys can see the way that we see Carlsbad real estate, I think it'll make it easier on you and making it a buying decision for you, your family in the future, and you get to learn a little bit different of a side of Carlsbad that maybe you can't see on Zillow. Previewing homes first as a real estate agent or driving the neighborhoods and getting a feeling of what you're showing is a totally different experience than just going listing the listing on Zillow. Because what we tend to do on Zillow, and listen, I like Zillow. I use Zillow every single day. What we tend to do on Zillow is we tend to compare kitchens and great rooms and windows and bedrooms, but there's no feeling of like the neighborhood. And you know that neighborhood when you drive into and you're like, I don't know what it is about this neighborhood, but I love the neighborhood and I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit on the actual home to be in the neighborhood. Sites like Zillow and all they don't give you that feeling. So it's really important to actually get out there in the market, get a feel for what the neighborhoods are like, and the search gets easier. All right. So this was good. Not really anything that shocked us. I think 3 of the 4 are going to be a really good fit. There's one that I'm kind of on the fence on. Maybe I can get through it before they come in town. They're supposed to be in here in a few days. We'll see where it goes. And then maybe there'll be a follow-up video to this to let you know if they chose something, what they chose, if it was even one of the 4 that we covered today, or if it was something else that would be interesting. Maybe we'll record like a YouTube short on that to see where that's at. Do you want to see more of this content? If you do, let me know in the comments down below. We only do Carlsbad real estate. We don't do anything else. It is Carlsbad or bust. So if you have any questions about Carlsbad real estate, you can email us at team@thecarlsbadreport.com or comment below. DM us on Instagram, however you can find us. We'd be more than happy to help, all right? Until next time, we'll see you on the next one.